Now, can we get these seized injectors out? I was told they were seized, or two of them anyway. I don't know. We're going to use the Hobby Tools Universal Injector Puller. Boom. Sorted. Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. We did the first video on this, the actual diagnosis of it, to see what was wrong, and we figured out it was injector number one that is completely and utterly gone. We've managed to get a second-hand injector for it. The problem is with these now is, I know it sounds crazy, a second-hand injector is only 30 euros more, or 30 euros less than a brand new injector with a warranty. But you cannot get brand new injectors. I've tried everywhere. Even my injector guy can't get them. Main dealers can't get them. There's just a massive waiting list, and this is a work vehicle. He can't afford to wait that long. So yes, we have to go second hand. I've explained the downfalls of second hand injectors. These give a lot of injector issues, so you're buying a problem already. But look, there's nothing we can do, and he needs his vehicle working. And I always say to people, you know, once one injector's gone, it's best to replace all four with brand new ones. In the perfect world, don't live in the perfect world, we can't get four new ones, and I certainly wouldn't put four second hand ones in, because these other three are working fine. The ones you put in could be worse than these. So, you know, look, it's just one of them things. So unfortunately, we have to do what we have to do. Now, it's simple enough to take out. You've got 17mm here to get the high pressure hose off. You got the return line, and you've got the clip, and then you've got one bracket in the middle held down by an Allen key, which actually holds two injectors down at once. So it's only two bolts, and all four injectors should come out once you undo the pipes. Relatively easy, but again, you know, doesn't mean that they're going to be easy. We're going to try this. This is the Hobby Tools injector puller. Now, Hobby Tools even admit that if your injector is completely seized where you need the hydraulic one, this isn't going to do. You know, it just won't do it. So we have to wait and see. All we really need to do is get number one out and change for him to get working. Yes, we've got a hell of a lot of oil leaking here. I've got 4 new oil seals, but if these are completely seized where I can't get it out with this, then we're just going to have to get it back working for him. We're going to have to come back and sort the oil leak out for him another day, because he needs his vehicle. He's basically been gone with that all weekend because I couldn't get the parts until now. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off these few bits here. I'll take it off camera because there's no point. So I'm going to take this clip off, these two high pressure pipes, the return pipes, and the Allen key here, and we're going to see how easy these are to get out. The easiest way I found to get these little clips off is to use a little flat blade screwdriver and some long pin nose pliers. Now I'm doing this one-handed. You can bet your life it's going to ping and go everywhere, because that's just the way it is. But I've got a load of these, well, not loads, but I've got some spare, because these things tend to ping and you can lose them very easy, and they're a nightmare. But there we go, look, that's how easy they come off with the way that I do it. Now that return pipe will come off. I'm going to do the same with that one, then get the Allen key off. Then we're going to see how easy or hard they are to get out. Right, this has just gone from a relatively simple job to an absolute nightmare now. I was always wondering why all 4 injector seals were leaking. It is a bit, I've never seen all 4 to leak at once. Normally maybe 1. Anyway, so as I was taking this off, this bolt, it was completely mangled inside. You can't quite see, but it was mangled inside, and look, it's broke. I don't know if you can see, there's a tiny bit around the edge which is shiny. The rest inside is black. These injectors were never pushed down properly. Them bolts were never tight. Someone's cross-threaded them, and you can even see from the shininess, look at that. That bolt's been cross-threaded, and it's obviously turned on him slightly, because you can feel when a bolt's about to snap it, and he stopped. And I've just literally put that on, and I only used a 1/4-inch ratchet, do you know, because the M8 I was using was only 1/4-inch, so I couldn't put a lot of pressure on it, and bang, it snapped. So whoever originally did this now is turned into a nightmare. So I'm gonna have to try and now get both of them injectors out, because you have to get both of them out to get one out, if that makes sense. And we're gonna see what I can do about that bolt, but we're in trouble. This is from people who just don't know what they're doing, or they just right, I've managed to get one injector out. The other one is definitely stuck. But what I did manage to do is this will screw down a couple of threads. So I don't know if it was maybe hanging on literally by the skin of its teeth, but of course I'm going to get the blame for this now. But regardless, I need to get the injectors out to take the rock cover off to see what I can see with that bolt. That other bolt I just haven't gone near because I'm just afraid of it at the minute, but this injector is definitely stuck. This is just one part of the tool that's on it, and I like to put that on it first, because sometimes you can just kind of rock it from side to side. But listen to this. Yeah, that, and you can see how much I'm moving the van. Look, it is stuck. I am going to put the sliding hammer on rather than twisting it, because you have to be careful twisting it, because you can actually crack them open. And what I mean by that is they're screwed in down here. There's a thread, and when you twist them, you can just be twisting the thread, because normally this part that gets stuck, because this part's kind of in oil, so it doesn't really get stuck. Or should I say, it's kind of from the oil sealed down, so it's this section that normally gets stuck. So yeah, I'm going to put the sliding hammer part on and see if we can get anywhere. Right, I've managed to get the other bolt out, and you can clearly see just how much is broken in there, quite a bit. And you can see, when you look down this way, you can see how shiny them threads are, because they've been pulled compared to this one. See, so the threads have been pulled because it's been cross-threaded. Also, they've even broken these. Look, all this is broke, and I've just found out it was a main dealer. A Volkswagen main dealer did this over, well, I can't remember how long he said, but it was a Volkswagen main dealer who had this. So that's how it should be. And look, that one's broke and this one's broke. Like, they've just hacked at this. Oh my god, great. My thumb is killing me because I've caught it underneath there. I did put a rag underneath there, because when you put your hand underneath there and you're banging on that big slide hammer, it does kind of hurt there on your thumb. So I put a rag on it just to kind of help with the, you know, the concussion blows of it. You can get a longer rag, twist it and use it, but you have to be careful with that, because you can break the injector. But we have undone both of these. Now, I didn't film it because it's taken a while, but we've managed to do something that the main dealer hadn't managed to do. We've managed to get 3 injectors off. They only managed to get 2. But so essentially this is just a big slide hammer like that, and as you hit it up, you can see, look, the injector is coming up. You can see that. This one is also, it is up, believe me. Oh, now, fantastic news. I'm going to work on number 2 again and see what we can do. Woo! But, you know, again, I know Hobby Tools won't mind me showing this if it doesn't work on that, because at the end of the day, this is not designed to remove injectors that are completely seized. You need that, you know, 10, 15, 20 ton hydraulic puller to pull them. This will never do it, but whew, at least it's managed to undo 3. Yeah, baby. Right, I've marked them, but I haven't taken them out yet, so let's have a look. Yeah, you can see where they were seized. So look at that, there and there, but we have them 2 out. So now it's just that bloody one. Right, I'm still trying, but the more and more I look, the more and more I see damaged. Look at this. Can you see that? They've actually, it's this that's broke. It was not the seals that's leaking. They've actually broke the bloody rocker cover. And look at all the marks they put on there. Now, to be honest, that's not exactly like the end of the world, but you can see they had some sort of Stilsons on there or something. to try and get this one off, and there's the same mark on the other one as well. But this one, I think this one is well and truly stuck beyond this, unfortunately, which is a nightmare. But I'm going to keep going for a little bit longer. Right, I have managed to get it to move like left and right, but not easy. Like it's not by hand. So I decided to see if I could stick the camera down just so if I could see anything happening or what is going on. And I've left my memory card at home, but you can see the injector there against the engine, and the shine is the oil that's on it, and you can see there's just no room. There's just nothing. It's just, yeah. Because what I was thinking is, can I get something in there, some sort of anything, you know, to try and loosen it up. But the angle that camera's gone in, there's just no way I'm going to be able to get anything in there. But just look how clear it is. That's all the way completely around the injector now. Look at that. It's the body of the injector. Top part looks good, as it always would, because that's the part that's in the oil. But that part down there, yeah, oh, bloody annoying. But this is an awesome camera. I'll leave the link down below to the camera and the injector puller. Oh, oh. Yes. Oh, brilliant. Right, that's just absolutely great news. The customer's just come back when we got it out, so typical. It looked kind of easy to him, but I explained the issues we was having. Actually, it doesn't look that bad compared to the other ones. You just get a torch down in there, so hopefully you can see just the build-up. Look at the build-up that's in there. Look at that. But when you look at it compared to the other ones, the build-up on it is quite good compared to these ones, and yet these ones came out so much easier. Look at the build up on that. Look at that. It's a lot more build up. Hold on, camera focus. A lot more build up on that than there was in the one that was stuck. But anyway, we did something that the main dealer couldn't do. We got all 4 injectors out. I can now see the damage they've done to here. You can see that's cracked. So that's, we've got to now take the rock cover off and see what we can do with this broken bolt, and that'll give me a better idea of what I can do. But yes, it did take practically all day for me to get them 4 injectors out, and that one did take a good few hours, God knows how many hours, but this tool did it. And yeah, so oh, I tell you, without the rag on there though, your hands do suffer. But we got it out, so I'm just well over the moon. Right, just absolutely awesome. I must admit, I was thinking I found the limit of this tool, and I was absolutely butchering this with the hammer, which you normally wouldn't do, because at first I couldn't move it by hand, so I was just tapping it slowly with the hammer, moving it, and then eventually I got it enough so I could use the handle. So I was butchering this tool, and yet it held up. The problem is, I know people are going to say, oh, why don't you put WD-40 down it? WD-40 for a start isn't a lubricant or a penetrant. So, but the issue is, even if you manage to find something that was able to knock out the carbon, you've got a rubber seal here, and the rubber seal stops everything. That's the idea of the rubber seal. It stops the oil going into the engine. So the rubber seal is a tight seal. You'd have to find something to spray down this that would melt the rubber seal and then go into it, which I suppose is possible, but just awkward. Anyway, I finally got the rock cover off. We can see the damage that the main dealer did to this. Just absolutely, look at that. I mean, just, I just don't understand. So that's why it was leaking oil there. God knows why it was leaking oil here. There may be cracked or something else that I can't see. But that's now off, which is good. If it was a bigger bolt, what I would do is I would get some copper tubing. I would stick it down there and I'd stick the welder down there, but it's very thin, and to try and do that on that thin of a bolt, it's just, I don't think it's going to be worth it. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to drill it out, and it's cross-threaded as well, so even if I could get it out, the threads are going to be damaged. That's why it broke. So as you can see, it's way down in here. Now this is a separate, it's like a razor plate from, well, it's what holds down the cams, so this part technically would come off, and then you can get into it, but the bolt is snapped flush with the head. So I'm going to actually leave this on here and use this as a guide, and just get some helicoils, drill it out, and you know, put a new bolt in it essentially. So that's what I'm going to do, but obviously I can't do that today. I have to now order that. I have to get some helicoils, I have to get a few things now, and unfortunately he needed this like 3 days ago, but look, it is what it is. It could be worse. We could have 4 stuck injectors. We could have, you know, serious issues. Hopefully that injector is all right, but we don't know. I've still got a lot of cleaning up to do, so I've got to clean up all the balls in there, take all the copper washers out of there, new copper washers in, and do it. So there's a lot of work on it, but we will get there. So it's going to be a few seconds for you, but possibly over a week for me before I'm back on this. This is where I'd love to have a camera crew follow me around, because I cannot explain in words just the abuse I put this kit through, and you know, the hassle I had, but yet it still did it. Now you can just see this, I just battered this with the hammer, and yet it's still perfect. I'll be completely honest with you, if I paid for this kit, I wouldn't have abused it as much as what I did. But in then some ways, it's good to know just how much abuse this can take. You know, it's like everything, you know, you spend a lot of money on stuff and you tend to look after it. I would have most probably given up, because I'm like, well, I'm not destroying my tools. And because I didn't pay for it, I know that sounds bad, but I really abused them, but yet they held up. So, you know, it's just, yeah, brilliant. But if I had a camera crew, just so you could see exactly what this little thing went through and what I went through and what we actually achieved in the end of it, it makes you kind of feel good as well. Even though it was difficult, it was hard, my hands are fucking hurting, but still, we achieved it, we've done it, we've done no damage, and we've got them out. Right, I know what people are going to say. Well, you should use an easy out, you should use a left-handed drill bit, you'll be able to get it out, blah, 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 you don't need to drill it. No, just absolutely, you couldn't be further from the truth in this particular situation. What makes a bolt tight is the head of the bolt. So when you chop off the head of the bolt, the thread should literally come out with your hands, providing, you know, there's no rust or anything in it. The issue with this was it's been cross-threaded. It wasn't even tightened all the way down, it was snapped. So even by some miracle, if I can get that thread out, the threads in the block or the head is still going to be damaged because they're going to be stretched. So it makes no difference in this particular situation. But not only that, you can see how much we're missing, and we've got, you know, maybe a 20mm gap from where I can actually see the bolt. So the bolt's inside a chamber by at least 20mm. So it's not just going to come out easy. And the way I know it's stretched, now I can physically see it by my eyes because, you know, I just know it is. But another way of telling, if I put this bolt up against this bolt, the thread should be really tight. Now, if I can just get this on camera, maybe. Let's come down here so it makes it easier. The thread should be really tight and no daylight between them. And, hold on. Look at that. They just don't go together. I hope you can see that. They just don't fit together. Look at Look at the daylight between it. That should be a really, really nice fit. This is how I know that it's been cross threaded, and then the bottom part of this bolt, all this bit, is just been cross threaded and it's essentially stuck. So I know there's no point even going or even trying to attempt to get it out, because like I said, even if I did, the threads are going to be damaged. So we have to helicoil it, and it looks to be like M6 and maybe 1.0 thread pitch. That's what it looks like to be, but I'll check it. Right, this is what I was saying. Look, you can hardly see any daylight between them two. The threads are fitting together really nicely, and it wasn't doing that on the other one. So, you know, hopefully, there you go. Look, you can't even see through it at all, but the other one you could see through it. So, let's see if I guess right with the size of the bolt and the thread. And yes, I did. M6 by 1.0. That's what I need. So, this is what I'm going to be using.